What fact are you just tired of explaining to people? If I'm working at night, I need to sleep during some portion of the day. I'm a male and a nurse. No, I don't want to be a doctor. No, I'm not going to school to be a doctor. No, I don't feel like less of a man because I'm a nurse and not a doctor. And stop calling me doc and doctor. I've told you 5 times I'm your nurse and my badge says nurse in big letters. Everything is made of chemicals. Not everything natural is good and not everything man-made is bad. Viruses are not bacteria, bacteria are not viruses. Software developers are not computer technicians. That type 1 diabetes isn't caused by your diet, and it cannot be cured. That we are short-staffed and you're just going to have to wait. That many Chinese people have my surname, but we're not all related to Jackie Chan, just like how not every person with Johnson as their surname is related to Boris Johnson. That because I can usually figure out how to fix most things does not mean I want to fix everything that breaks for anyone else. Edited for typo because it bothers some. I'm a programmer. I write programs. I don't know why your computer won't turn on. Just because someone doesn't always need their disability aids, that doesn't mean they're not disabled and faking it. Someone who needs a wheelchair to get around doesn't always mean they can't use their legs. They can still walk short distances. I have insomnia. No, I can't just think about nothing. Edit. Glad to know there's 15K of you out there that know the damn struggle. I tried to respond to each one. Zombie hugs to everyone, virtually, from here. Gets job at NASA. All extended family asks as if moon landing was real pain. I'm ginger and a lot of people asks me if all my hair is also ginger. Wheelchairs aren't cheap, and cheap wheelchairs are not suitable for everyone, not suitable for hardly anyone in fact. It's not a choice of a 30,000 pounds wheelchair or a 300 pounds wheelchair, it's a choice between sitting in a chair that fits the needs of the user that enables them to be active in their life, or sitting in an unsupportive seat on wheels that physically harms the person until they're out of it again. That feelings you have about your thoughts are still feelings and can make or destroy you equally to feelings about non-imaginary situations. My hands shake a little, it becomes worse when I'm anxious, nervous, when people point it out and / or tell me to stop shaking. Another thing. I have went to the doctor, a specialist. He told me it's normal. People still try to misdiagnose me with Parkinson's. Worst part, it's always people not on the medical field. Wi-Fi does not equal internet. I'm mostly telling this to my kids, lol. We frequently lose internet connectivity, but the Wi-Fi will be working fine. They will never understand. Airplanes don't fall out of the sky when they lose an engine. A747 can glide nearly 100 miles after losing all engines at cruise. The difference between type I and 2 diabetes, 2 completely different diseases. Being a healthcare worker and sometimes even having to explain it to my co-workers is tiring. Don't get your mental health information from TikTok, Facebook, or self-proclaimed experts who aren't professionally licensed. I no longer offer a professional opinion anywhere outside of work, and that includes Reddit. I've learned that 95% of the time, people don't want to hear the facts. They just want to circle jerk about whatever reality they've conjured up in their heads, and if you correct them, they'll be pissed off and then it's a bad time for everyone. Signed, a psychiatrist. I'm tired and I don't know why I'm tired. That chronic illness is chronic, like permanent, like forever. Still sick. Not getting better. Get it? Correlation is not causation. Antibiotics will not help your virus. Even if you feel really crappy. Maintaining a safe following distance is the easiest thing to do to avoid accidents, and yet most people aren't doing it. It's basically impossible to react in time to avoid an accident if you are following less than 2 seconds behind someone. It doesn't get you where you are going faster. The accident will always be your fault. And finally, 2 seconds is way longer than most people think. Most will count 1 second. Edit. My most upvoted comment is one that makes me feel less like I'm the only one that cares about this. I'll take that. Thanks, reddit.edit/update/follow up. A lot of people commenting to say they do this but hate when people take that gap by moving into your lane in front of you. Combine that with the second most common comment, that's fine, give them the space too. You're actually solving one of the biggest contributors to traffic jams too. Next common comment is the 1 car length for every 10 miles per hour. Not bad. Better than believing yourself to be immune to physics and overestimating your cat-like reflexes. Imo, car lengths are more difficult to estimate than 2 seconds and my trust in that happening is already low. Last of all, thanks everyone. This is the most fun I've had on Reddit since Shitty Morph. A hour-long YouTube video about something does not mean that it is true. It could just mean that some crazy or stupid person posted an hour-long video about nothing and you are now dumber for having listened to it, and may God have mercy on your soul. I am not telling you what I did / why it happened / what happened as an excuse. It is an explanation. Why did you fall asleep during the movie? I was tired. Don't give me excuses. What the fuck do you want me to say? Edit. OMG, thank you for the award. Apostrophes don't make words plural. That disagreeing with someone's opinion isn't an attack on them. Shaving doesn't make your hair grow back thicker. Just because I work in IT, doesn't mean I know everything technology related. IT is a vast field. You work in IT, what phone should I get? You work in IT, do you know why this app isn't working? We're not all help desk or some sort of phone tech support, I promise. You cannot get a raise and wind up with a lower net income because of taxes. Income taxes are progressive. The higher bracket does not apply to the money you make under the threshold. This is different from the welfare cliff, which is very real. That my lifelong history of depression has little to nothing to do with my relatively stress-free life. People are always saying, what do you have to be depressed about? Believe me, I wish it were that simple. Depressed people can and will be happy sometimes. We don't just all sit around being completely fucking miserable all the time, only most of the time. Not everyone is a little bit autistic. Historic life expectancy is heavily skewed by high infant mortality. If you got past 4 or 5 years old, you had a good chance of making old age. People weren't just dropping dead at 35. Africa is a continent with dozens of countries. Being an introvert doesn't mean I'm shy. It means having a social battery which gets run down and sometimes becomes empty if I don't have enough peaceful alone time to recharge it. My job is peoply enough, but at least I'm paid to be there. I actively avoid crowds on my time off. Basic financial math. I have had to go through and show people that they did, in fact, spend too much money, and that's why they are broke. Poison is not the same thing as venom. People call snakes poisonous when really they mean to say venomous. Venom has to be injected into the bloodstream, like a snake bite. Poison has to be ingested to enter your bloodstream. You could drink rattlesnake venom and your stomach acids would kill it, but if you put that same rattlesnake venom on an open wound or injected it for whatever reason, that's gonna be a problem. Inflation decreasing doesn't mean prices go down. I need your effing identification information because we are at a bank. I don't care who you say you aren't the person you are claiming to be until I have proof. You can't just walk into the bank, ask for 10k and not expect to be verified. Stop giving me a hard time for protecting your money for you. Monkeys make terrible pets. Edit. Hilarious that this post has caused me to again have to explain this shit. For everyone asking me to explain. I did, scroll down. Also, fuck you, do you not understand the point of this post? Type 1 diabetes is not caused by eating too much sugar as a child or having a bad lifestyle. Please don't offer to give me insulin if I go low and pass out. That will definitely kill me. Stella Liebeck, the woman who won a lawsuit against McDonald's over hot coffee, had every right to sue them. It's been mocked so many times over the past 20 years, with people ridiculing this woman and making it out like she's some idiot who was surprised that coffee was actually hot and she was just attempting a money grab or something. In reality, the temperature of the coffee was fucking ridiculous and there was no reason for it to be hot enough to cause third-degree burns on her legs when she spilled it. She had to have multiple skin graft surgeries and spent 8 days in the hospital where she lost 20 pounds. After that, she needed additional care at home and was partially disabled for the next 2 years. She had no choice but to sue to cover the cost of her surgeries. This happened a long time ago, but to this day, I still overhear people mocking this case or making references to it in jest. When you're adjusting the temperature on a thermostat, you're not changing the temperature of air that blows out. You're just changing how long it'll stay on for until it reaches that temp. That the people who made up the Avril Lavigne death theory admitted to it and said it was created to show how gullible people can be, which worked since the woman still gets comments accusing her of being fake till this day. Not to mention there were other people listed, but Avril's only got big due to the Shane Dawson video. I have generalized anxiety disorder. I cannot just decide to not be anxious about stuff. I take medication because I can't stop. Telling me to just not worry about it and mind over matter is not going to work. This is a medical issue I am actively being treated for. If I could just choose to stop, I would. Telling me it's all in your head is also useless. Of course it's in my head. It's a brain problem. Where else is it going to be? Tax brackets. No, Jenny, making an extra 5k does not mean the other 50,000 gets taxed at a higher rate. Only money in the higher bracket gets taxed at that rate, not all previous money. Edit. After a number of replies I will mention the benefits issue, where unlike taxes, sometimes making too much money can screw you. Be it healthcare, housing, $1,000 difference could result in a massive increase in costs. Most such things are all or nothing, unlike taxes. That depression isn't just being sad for a couple hours. When out in public, I am not babysitting my kids or giving mom a break. I am a dad and they are my kids. WTF is wrong with women over the age of 40 who say this shit to men? Edit. The support is welcomed. That a graphics card is not the only thing you have to upgrade on your PC to make it perform better. Yes, libraries still exist, and yes, people still use them, and yes, we have things other than print books. Like free COVID tests. A weekly vaccine clinic. Classes that are free. I'm just being honest is not an acceptable excuse for being an asshole. Alpha and Omega Animals was debunked by the same person who proposed the idea. How algorithms are built to feed you only what you want to see and hear, creating a bubble of ignorance toward everything else. That just because I am bisexual doesn't mean I will have sex with anyone. Tax brackets. The portion of your income that falls within a tax bracket is taxed at that rate. Meaning all of your income is not taxed at the highest rate you fall into, as many people think. So no, you should not turn down a job because you will make too much money and jump into a higher tax bracket. Example, say you earn $60,000 a year, and the brackets are as follows: $0, $25,000, 10% $25,001 to $50,000, 15% $50,001 to $100,000, 20%. Your tax liability will be $25,000 x 10% equals $2,500 plus $25,000 x 15% equals $3,750 plus $10,000 x 20% equals $2,000. Total tax equals $8,250. Your tax liability will not be $60,000 x 20% equals $12,000. Following this example further, say you earn $50,000 and are hesitant to take a job earning $60,000 because of the tax brackets. If you keep the first job, you will take home $50,000. Gross income minus $6,250. Tax equals $43,750. Net income. If you take the second job, you will take home $60,000. Gross income minus $8,250. Tax equals $51,750. Net income. Make career decisions because of tax brackets. I'm not helping my wife with the kids, chores, and cooking. I'm being a parent, living in a household, and hungry. That the age of consent in Japan is not 13. People are not going around having sex with middle schoolers in Japan with no legal issues. Federally the age of consent is 13, but most prefectures of the actual cities have the age of consent set to 18 and maybe 16. I know this because I literally went out of my way to find a Japanese government website that clearly explained that this was the case. The air is in the bag to protect the chips. You are buying weight, not volume. My ADHD is an explanation, not an excuse. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Depression and insomnia mixed with autism means I have horrific sleep issues. Stop mocking me if I get up late or if I get up early. You're not helping me fix my sleep schedule. You can't fix something that doesn't exist. People had a life expectancy of only some ridiculously low number way back when. This is true, but only because of the high infant mortality rate coupled with the fact that many folks died during childhood due to certain illnesses. This does not mean that people reached middle age in their 20s and old age in their 40s. I repeat, this does not mean that people reached middle age in their 20s and old age in their 40s. The folks fortunate enough to survive infancy and childhood likely lived to a ripe old age of 60, 70, 80, or beyond. They lived to be old people. They didn't drop dead at 39 of old age. That I look like an Asian, but I am not Chinese and I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Being skinny doesn't mean I'm healthy. Edit. Some extra context. I used to have a boss who always would comment on my weight and say things like eat a cheeseburger for crying out loud, or you need to get pregnant to gain weight like the rest of us. But she didn't know I was recovering from a severe eating disorder that was leading to anorexia. Even though I was making good progress at recovery, I was still underweight. To this day I am still slightly underweight but making some progress every day, even if it's something small.